Hey everyone, rudyxx here to talk about another RPGalooza game, PopoloCrois. And for those of you that don't know, RPGalooza is a project I started involving through a huge list of RPG titles ranging from Western style to Japanese. And while I'm not a huge RPG connoisseur, I do like to dabble in them every now and then, so hopefully I can provide for you all a more modern day gamer's look at my experiences with them. So with that out of the way, on to PopoloCrois. Actually, I should probably point out first that this is the PSP release of the game, and despite owning the original versions of the games for the PS1, I opted to play the PSP version for RPGalooza instead. Part of this is because I played the original games way back in the early 2000s, so I kind of wanted a fresh look at them, but also I forgot the games completely, so I figured I may as well just go with the updated version. Actually, speaking of the original games, the series has always had a weird vibe with me because I know exactly how popular these games were back when they first released, and I know how much of a disaster the PS1 RPG scene was before Final Fantasy VII came out. You see, originally, when they were deciding which RPG to release for the PS1 when it came out to the US, they had the options of Arc the Lad, Beyond the Beyond, and this game, PopoloCrois. In the end, Beyond the Beyond won out because it had some element of 3D graphics to it. Unfortunately though, Beyond the Beyond is an incredibly terrible game with incredibly terrible mechanics, and that's another story for another day, but basically, the game almost killed the RPG market in the US. Meanwhile, PopoloCrois thrived in Japan. The game had weekly comics put out for it, an anime, a line of toys, t-shirts, whatever. The game did amazing in Japan, and meanwhile the US struggled with Beyond the Beyond, so I have this weird vibe with PopoloCrois where every time someone talks about it, I'm reminded of all this. So anyways, with that out of the way, onto the actual review of the PSP release of Popolo. I had a great time with the game. The artwork is cute, the maps aren't huge, the game isn't all that complex, and even has an auto battle system to speed up the fights. The music is fantastic, and it's one of my favorite OSTs of all time. Every track does a really good job of capturing the moment, and while the story isn't anything mind-blowing, the music does a great job of keeping you in the moment, and really building the suspense or excitement of whatever's going on. I have very few complaints about the game. I think the biggest problem for me is how arbitrary it is to progress at times. I definitely am bad about talking to every NPC in existence, so without the help of a guide, I probably would have gotten bored of just walking back and forth looking for the next story trigger. There's a few times where you have to go talk to like one NPC in the end of a previous area and then go back to the town you're currently doing stuff in before being able to trigger the next scene. And I'm super terrible about wanting to backtrack to places arbitrarily, so this would have been awful for me otherwise. Another issue I have is that the game definitely can get a bit grindy at times. A lot of that is at least alleviated through the use of auto battle, but even still, there's a few times where I felt like I spent an hour just mindlessly grinding just to barely have enough HP to survive one attack from whatever boss I was on. And I'm an old man with like 400 other games I could be playing, along with a dozen or so MMORPGs I could be grinding in instead. So my patience with that is often limited. In any case, for RPGalooza, I give this game an 8 out of 10. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was definitely really good. It's actually one of those games that I commonly suggest to others when given the chance, without having to tag on crazy discrepancies about the game, so it's definitely got that going for it. And if you're someone that's never played it and came across this review by chance, then I strongly suggest at least giving it an hour or two's go. Because if you like the first couple hours, then you're going to enjoy the entire journey. And if you don't like the first hour or two, then it's definitely going to be a big struggle for you, since it's more or less the same thing the entire way. But anyways, that's it for Popolo. If you enjoyed this video and would like to look forward to many more RPG reviews of mine in the future, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in seeing me actually play through a variety of games in real time, make sure you follow my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/rudyxx. Thanks for watching and see you next time.